Oh, hey, it's you again. Well, thanks for stopping in. In this video, I'm going to explain the triangle stack problem. And if you hear some odd noises, the classroom above me is like moving their desks all around right now, so it just sounds like a herd of elephants. Anyway, I promise it's not my stomach. Okay, so in this problem, you have to use trig. You got to use SOHCAHTOA to solve. Oops. To solve for this missing side. You have to start at the bottom and work your way up. I've taken the liberty of already starting our first problem. Within our first triangle, this is my reference angle, meaning this is the adjacent side, and this is the hypotenuse, so I'm using the cosine, okay? If you don't already have it written down, you might want to write SOHCAHTOA on your paper, right? Make sure you write it with the correct letters, or you will mess the entire problem up. So remember, some old horse caught another horse taking oats away. Okay, so the cosine of 34 degrees equals 8 over the hypotenuse. I won't do this for every problem, but remember when you're solving here, the way I taught it, you put the cosine of 34 over 1, make it a proportion, you cross multiply, and solve, we get 9.6. So 9.6 is the hypotenuse of this triangle here, okay? Now, we have to do some algebra before we can move on to our next triangle. I need this hypotenuse right here, from here to here. So if I take my 9.6, and I subtract the 2.5, that gives me this guy, this distance right here. Then I'm going to add 3.6. That gives me the next value that I need to work with. So I wrote that out here. I get 10.7. So this is 10.7. Okay, so now I'm going to do the trig again. This is the hypotenuse. This is the adjacent side. I'm solving for the adjacent side. So let's set it up. The cosine of 11 degrees equals x over 10.7. So once you cross multiply and solve, you get x equals 10.5. I know the directions it says round to the nearest thousandth, but just the nearest tenth is fine. So this is 10.5. Okay. Now again, I have to do some algebra with the 10.5. I need to subtract my 2.1, and then I'm going to add the 2.9, and that gives me 11.3. That's the hypotenuse of my next triangle that I'm working with, okay? Now in the next triangle, you might notice that we have the right angle, but we don't have any of the other angles. You could do SOHCAHTOA to solve for the angle measurement using the inverse, but since you have this side, you can also just use Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so our 3.8 squared plus, I'm solving for this leg, so plus x squared equals 11.3 squared. Once you throw that in your calculator, you should get x equals 10.6. Okay, so there's that. So again, that's this leg of the triangle. So I have to subtract the 3.2, and that leaves me with 7.4. Okay. I have all of this work done maybe just slightly bit neater, and that's just on the open-ended answer key, so you can just check that out if you need to, or you could just pause this video, listen to it slower if I'm moving too quickly. Anyway, so our last step here, again, this is my reference angle. I want the hypotenuse. I have the adjacent. We're going to use cosine again. So the cosine of 42 degrees equals a over h, or 7.4 over h. So once you cross multiply and solve, I believe you get 9.95. Which you can just round up to 10, and the units are centimeters. So there you go. There will be a problem like this on the open-ended portion of the final review, and you will need to show all of your work. That is part of the credit. So I don't care how you organize it, if you want to put it all at the bottom and just kind of number it. But if you're just writing answers and not showing any work, you will not receive full credit. All right. Thanks for watching. Good luck on the final.